Okay, to make it simple and accessible for everyone, this is one of the strongest setups in the game. Black Knight Shield and S-Stock. Any setup that involves variation of Black Knight Shield and one-handed weapon is extremely good. The way you play it is not by blocking and walking forward like a fucking pigeon like people do it on Arena. The way you play it is you block everything that is annoyingly annoying. You block throwing knives, you block avalanche shots, so basically these options can't pressure you. And then the only other time you use the block, well, two times, the only one, okay, the first case where you use the block is when you want to use weapon art mix-up, which is pretty rare, but we'll get to it. And the second option, second instance you use the block is when you are rolling away and you don't have enough space. The reason for that is that block activates faster than your roll recovery, so basically by mashing the block on roll, you can escape roll catches. Other than that, you don't really block with the shield, but it serves the purpose. So yeah, this is another extremely strong setup. It is, again, very, very powerful, and same shit applies to it. The only time you use weapon art, the only time you use shield to block basically is on rolls. Other than that, you just block everything like throwing knives and avalanche shit, and you don't block with it at all. Basically, like, shields in Dark Souls 3 are not used for blocking in a sense, unless it's a great shield. But with Black Knight Shield, you just block on roll recovery, and that's about it. And then, of course, the weapon art. Yeah, fuck me. So yeah, basically, okay, you have three instances blocking the avalanche throwing knives. You have an instance when you want to mix up the weapon art, and you have an instance when you're rolling and trying to not get roll called. These are three fucking options for block. I repeat again, you don't really block in close quarters, you don't walk with your block like retard. People that do that are terrible players, and let's just ignore them. We're talking about competitive fucking high tier level play with people that can actually roll from a fucking run spam. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Whatever. The thing that was reliably beating these Black Knight Shield setups... Oh yeah, by the way, any setup that involves Black Knight Shield and a good one-handed weapon was as strong as these. I mean, this setup with straight sword is a bit stronger, and luring counters with S-Stock are pretty good as well, but you could have used it with a Sabre like I used, and it's still a very strong setup, and you could have used it with a Cartus sword, it's still a strong setup. The setup that had a good chance against these setups with Black Knight Shield and shit was a two-handed Cartus sword, for two reasons. First, well, for three reasons. Okay, fuck me. Yeah, that was the only, like, reliable way to counter these Black Knight Shield setups. First thing, bleed. Bleed is very weird for pressure, but basically it was just forcing you to roll the fuck away and, like, play the normal game, because bleed would just build up extremely fast, and chances are, if you're trying to block it on wake up or on anything, hit stun is gonna combo you into the bleed and you wouldn't be able to roll away from it. So bleed was extremely useful. Second thing, trades. This is the thing, like, people, okay, let's do it in the other round. Second thing, other way, let's do it the other way. Second thing is stamina damage. With a Night Slayer ring like this, it was extremely, well, it wasn't extremely, it was impossible to block Cartus sword swings because it would break your guard in like 4 hits. So you're basically like fucked if you block 2 hits, because they obviously combo. If you block 2 hits, you're very low on your stamina, and chances are you're gonna get wrecked. So because of the high stamina damage that isn't really exclusive to Cartus sword, it was a feature of all the curved swords that are heavy curved sword, not the ones that have a flip, the ones that have kick, yeah. But basically stamina damage was excellent at pressuring the shield, and it turned these Black Knight Shield setups into setups that can't really block in any case, because the stamina damage was just too high. So yeah, and the third thing is what actually made this whole shit viable is attack rating. The issue was with the fact that Karthus Cursed Sword and all other heavy Cursed Swords have a lot of hit stun on them, which means that if you trade with it, doesn't matter with the fast weapons like Estok and Lothric Knight Sword, if you trade with it, well, with the stock you win the first hit trade, but with Lothric Knight Sword you don't win anything. So yeah, you don't win trades, even with Estok. If you get a first hit counter with Leo, you win it, but because Karthus Cursed Sword has so much hit stun, you're basically losing it in the long term. This is what made it really viable against Black Knight Shield and Estok and shit like that. Mainly because the thing is, if you can't block it, if you can't block anything, then your only reasonable solution is obviously to use shield as a bait. But the problem with baiting and shit like that is that it's so easy to trade with a weapon that has equally fast speed, which means that you're basically if like you're not using shield, you can't outspace Karthus Cursed Sword because it has pretty much the same range as Estok and more range than Lothric Knight Sword. So basically, yeah, you're forced to kinda trade with it. You can get clean hits, like try to trade in neutral, but which is where its stock really shines and why it's so fucking strong. But generally you just get fucking wrecked on trades, and it's very easy to force trades in Dark Souls 3 with the weapons that are really fast. So yeah, why this fucking patch sucks. Okay, let's check the AR on fucking Karthus Cursed Sword now. 423. It's two-handed. And then we compare it to Longsword. That isn't... Okay, let me upgrade it. Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay. There you have it. And this is one-handed longsword, not even two-handed. You can see the obvious problem. What is the reasoning behind this? What From Software thinking? I don't know, but as of now, Karthus Cursed Sword can't trade with anything. Karthus Cursed Sword cannot trade with fucking Lothric Knight Sword because chances are you're just gonna get mixed with the weapon art, and it has more or less the same AR. It's like the difference is very negligible. And it can't trade with the refined longsword because it has even more AR, so you're guaranteed to lose a trade. And it's basically fucking useless in this setup. Yes, you can still pressure the shields, even though they did nerf the bleed. I don't think it's gonna change that much, but you still can pressure the shield. Yeah, you have a lot of stamina damage, but it's not, right now it's not really scary. There is no reason why I should be afraid of Karthus Cursed Sword in this setup, because I can simply outtrade it. That's like literally the fucking main deterrent is gone. I can simply outtrade it right now. And I can use shield to just safely escape the battle, disengage whenever I want, and just outtrade it. And same thing goes for Estok. Not only it's excellent weapon, it has a good fucking reach, more than Karthus Cursed Sword, excellent roll catches and shit like that. Despite it having less AR, because you're getting the first hit, counter hit with Ring, pretty sure you can just force the trades and win. And I'm not really sure the fuck From Soft are doing. There is a positive side, I guess you can call it positive side. Something that isn't completely killed is this. Even though it's still not much, but you can win trades with this. So yeah, there is still some hope for you if you want to fight tryhards that use Black Knight Shield in the proper way with Black Knight Shield setups. But AR is still kind of low, and I don't think you'll be able to trade with luring Estoks. So from now on, it's basically Estok land when it comes to competitive play. Now, for your average Pigeon Arena player that thinks that fucking R1 spam is like cancers and can't press B to roll backwards. This is absolutely great. This is the best update ever. Cancer sword got nerfed. Woo! But for players that actually understand how this game works, and for players that, you know, participate in tournaments that have prize pools and shit like that, this isn't really a good thing, because basically from now on, I mean, Kartaskir sword is still a good weapon against shit. It's just the problem is, with this change from soft eliminated, the only reliable counter to Black Knight Shield and S-Dog Black Knight Shield and Lothric Knight Sword or Longsword setups, the only reliable counter is basically gone right now, so it's GG. And every tournament from now on is probably gonna feature multiple people running Black Knight Shield setups because they're pretty much fucking unbeatable right now. So yeah, that's what has happened.